Basement Politics with Freddy Vazquez. Quick recap of last week's primaries. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Happy 4th of July. It's Saturday. I know it's the 3rd, but many of you are probably already celebrating and have been since Friday. Happy to be off and have a 3-day weekend, although still working, always working. But good evening, it's Freddy Vazquez, and I just wanted to go live really quick just to give the results of last week's primaries, right? Kind of took the week off last week. Didn't come on Sunday, didn't do any interviews, but I will be back this Sunday, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. But I do want to say hello to Sarah, who I met with on Friday. And we had lunch together. We had a great talk, and I look forward to building upon that relationship. She has an interesting story, and it was a pleasure getting to sit there and have lunch with her and hear her story. And she's done a lot of amazing things. So, Sarah, thank you for inviting me to lunch. I had a great time. I look forward to the Botanical Garden and many other things. But anyway, getting to the point here. The primaries, they're over, right? I think the results are pretty much final. They were not without their controversy, right? Even whispers of some voter fraud or voter tampering. Many different things have come up from people becoming inactive when they went to go vote. They found out that they were inactive, right? And or some people went to vote and they were found not to be registered, and so there was some confusion. I know my wife had to go to several different places before she finally got to vote, but she had to do the affidavit thing. For some reason, she was inactive. I wasn't. We voted the last time together, so why wasn't I inactive? Was it because she is a Democrat, registered Democrat, and I'm not? I don't have a party affiliation. I'm apolitical. So I don't believe in the whole party thing. I think that we should always view the candidates' track record very important. Also, what they're saying, what they want to do, and their plan to get that done, and and how genuine they are. So again, track record is very important. A lot of people can talk what they're gonna, talk about what they're gonna do, but are they actually doing things in the community or doing things just to better society overall? So anyway, so let's get to the results. And many of you already know who the winners are, who the losers are, and no losers. I don't want to say it in a negative way. They're all winners, all very successful people, doing well, and great people. And I think I've met just about all of them. Maybe, yeah, I think so. So I think they're good people, politics aside. But of course, in the race, there are winners and there are losers. So I'll start with the district council's race, the District 2. I'll start with that. The winner there being Corazon Pineda, councilwoman. Again, she was the incumbent, so she got reelected. And she got a total of 1,046 votes. 1,046 votes is what it took to win the seat there in District 2. And she went up against Jose Roman and someone else. I'm sorry, Annette Yarber. That's right. I almost forgot. But Jose Roman actually came closest to I guess, Corazon Pineda with 283 votes, having 17% of the votes, while Corazon had 64% of the votes. So she did quite well, right? She got, for the most part, more than half the votes. And, the district there in District 2, I mean, it needs some work. I mean, and hopefully that, she can come back in there and maybe get some things going there, get some changes. I know I've spoken to some of the people out there, business owners, people who live there, and they said we need more police presence, right? And again, there was recent shootings there. There's violence there constantly. There's drug problems, even prostitution. So, and I know that's not the only area. The Nodine Hill section is not the only area that is, in District 2, and she has other areas such as the Ludlow Park area, but some areas, also, need to a little bit more attention. And, let's not just focus on one area because the people there maybe are, a different kind of people. We need to focus on your entire district. So, and this is not, to be a personal attack or, be negative or anything like that towards the councilwoman. It's just saying that, hey, listen, there's things going on that need to be addressed, right? And hopefully we can see these things uh, taken care of, resolved, and things to improve in the No Down Hill section specifically. Ludlow Park, for the most part, it's a pretty good area. No, not really. Actually, there's pretty some bad areas also there. But anyway, moving on. District 4. Wow, that one was close, and I think there was a lot of noise regarding that race. Right, that was the race between John Rubo and Carlos Burgos. Right, and so that whole race started out, just bad from the beginning. So initially, Carlos Burgos got the signatures. He was on the ballot. His signatures were challenged, and they even took it to court to challenge the signatures. They won their challenge the first time around. Carlos Burgos and his team appealed, and they got it overturned, and he was back on the ballot. And he ran a tough race, and toward the end, he started to get a little tough with his messaging, which I thought was good. I like the hair ad. I'm not sure if any of you saw the hair ad that Carlos Burgos and his team put out, where he's looking in the mirror, he's playing with his hair, and he's just so you hear a voice that's laid over the video, and it's just different things that people have said about his hair, and whether or not his hair was going to make him a viable candidate. I mean, it's ridiculous that we're talking about hair, right? I mean, there's so many more important issues, specifically in District 4, and I think the seniors would agree with that, right? So anyway, so John Rubo won that election with 605 votes. 605 votes. 56% of the voters voted for John Rubo, right? 605 votes. Carlos came in with 474 votes at 44%. So there were a total of 1,079 votes in that race. So a total of 1,079 people came out to vote. And I don't know how many people are, in the district that live there, but I don't think 1,079 it's really impressive at all. I mean, we need more people to come out and vote. And so, I'm going to be out there encouraging people to come out and vote. It's very important, and, races like this where they're close, everyone needs to come out. So good job for Carlos. I mean, John Rubo was a tough competitor. I mean, he's the incumbent. He's in there. He's with the establishment, I guess, from what the messaging was, from Carlos's camp. So, to lose by 200 votes or less than that, maybe 200 something. That's pretty good. Carlos did very well, and John, you gotta watch out there. I mean, he did pretty good. He did very good. So again, we do need to get people to come out and vote more. Low voter turnout is a huge problem. It's really a huge problem. So anyway, congratulations to John on winning the re-election. He will be the councilman again for District 4. Congratulations also to Carlos for doing well. Moving on, District 6. That was the race between Tim Hodges, former Yonkers deputy police chief, and Stella Sue Chow. That's another close race. That was another close race. Stella new. Well, she's been around in politics, but more in the background. But as far as running in a race, she's totally new to it. Tim Hodges won with 825 votes. Stella received a total of 554 votes. Not bad, Stella. Not bad. So in that race, there were a total of 1,379 votes. A little better than District 4. All right, a little bit better. So anyway, Tim Hodges got 60% of the votes and Stella 40%, obviously. So yeah, that was a pretty close race, and I know both of them. I've spoken with them, on several occasions. Tim is a great guy. Stella's a wonderful girl. It's tough for me to even say, hey, but so I wish them both luck. But congratulations to Tim on winning the primaries. Now he's preparing, I'm sure, for the general elections that are coming up in November, in which he will face Anthony Moranti, the incumbent. So, that's going to be a tough race. That's going to be a tough race. So, anyway, moving on to the main event, the main event. And that's the race for city council president. That race made a lot of noise there. A lot of crazy things happened there, right? So that was the race between Mike Cater, the incumbent, and Lakeisha Collins Bellamy, Pete Spano, and Ron Mattin's also in the race, but not in the primary. So it was between the three. And that one was surprising, I think. Surprising. Many people did not expect the outcome that we have. And I'm just going to read off the numbers real quick. Lakeisha Collins Bellamy received a total of 4,778 votes, 55% of the votes. The incumbent city council president, Mike Cater, received 2,650 votes, 30% of the votes. And Pete Spano, he didn't do too bad. I mean, he got more votes than many other candidates in the other races. He got a total of 1,293 votes. 15% of the votes of voters voted for him. A total of 8,721 people voted. 8,721 people voted. And from what I hear, a lot of them came in toward the end. Last minute people, bum rushed the polls. Anyway, so yeah, that was the results. But that race, it had a lot of drama. City council president, right? He was endorsed initially by the Yonkers Democratic Committee, and they did it about face. They turned their back on him over allegations that were never proven, allegations that are now being put on hold, the investigation anyway, as a judge ruled that, hey, this is nonsense. Cut it out. Put it into it. I believe it's still not over quite yet, but it was pretty much a bunch of nonsense. I mean, look, it's not that I favor Mike Cater so much. It's just that I think it just distracts us from the important issues. We were not focused on what either one of them wanted to do or were going to do if elected, right? We focused on the allegations. And I just think that look, hey, I'm from the streets, right? So in the streets, we try to work things out amongst ourselves rather than run to the law. And I'm not trying to encourage people not to snitch. That's not what I'm saying. I mean, if we can work it out amongst ourselves, we would prefer to do that, right? And I just think that when the allegations, were brought to the city council, I mean, the guy, you've known him for a while. I mean, why not say, hey, listen, here's 48 hours, produce some information documents showing that this is all bogus, and we'll move forward. And if you don't, then hey, we're gonna have to give Liam a call. Hey, Liam, got something for you. But it seems like they just ran with it quickly and went to Liam. I just think that was a big distraction, right? And it wasn't important at all. It wasn't important at all. Not worth the distraction. Not worth the the harassment that not only the Cater family received, but also citizens, regular average residents of the city who received these robocalls, mailers, their text messages. Kids received text messages. Parents said, "Hey, why is my kids receiving a text message with this political nonsense?" And it was just to me it was just a big distraction. It was nonsense, and it shows the character of whoever was doing it. Look, I'm not going to point fingers because I don't know 1,000%. We all have our opinions, but in general, it's a distraction. Mudslinging, it's not something that we should allow or even put up with, right? It's just an important process. Our elections are extremely important, and we need to make sure that we remain focused. And we just got distracted. We really got distracted, and some people just got fed up. Some people just said, "I'm not going to vote. This is not like I can't deal with this. I'm not going to go out there, especially it's raining. Nah, I'm really not going. It's raining, and all the crap that we were hearing. I'm just not going to vote." And that's what a lot of people did. So it was a form of voter suppression, right? Because they got people not to vote. I mean, look at the turnout, low turnouts, and it's just something that needs to change. And I think that everyone needs to focus on for the coming elections, general elections in November. Let's make sure we focus on issues. Let's make sure we review what each candidate is wanting to do, what they've done, and how they want to get whatever it is they're saying they want to do done. Because that's important. The strategy, the plan of action is very important, right? It has to make sense. We don't want someone saying, "Yeah, I'm going to do this for everybody. I'm going to do it like this," and it's just a bunch of talk. So let's focus. Let's focus. And I'm getting a lot of comments, so I do want to go to the comments. Hey, Maddie. Good evening. How you doing, Maddie? From Pamela Heart. Sorry, big. I'm sorry, Pamela's Heart Foundation, Big Heart Foundation. I apologize. It's late. I'm tired. She said it was definitely interesting. And yes, it definitely was. Definitely was. Hey, Nancy, good evening. How you doing? Nancy Cater. At the end of the day, Mike will prove his innocence. Yeah. And I think that we spoken briefly about it, and from what I understand, it is a big nothing burger. Hey, I've always wanted to say that. Nothing burger, a big nothing burger. And so I got to say it. And Amanda Cater, good evening. Thank you. Got the Cater family. How you doing, folks? The goal was to distract the voters with complete nonsense. We know exactly who was complicit in the lies and harassment towards our family. Mike is far too classy and honest for this joke of a city government. Yeah, and it's sad that you're not the only one that feels that way. And from what people are saying and what I've heard people say in the past, and it's just that many people are unhappy. They're unhappy with the government, and maybe that's what has been leading to such a low voter turnout in past elections. People just don't care. They don't want to deal with the corruption. Why vote? Does it matter? You know, and so we have to make sure that we not are being influenced in the wrong direction, that we are, independent thinkers, that we do our own homework, we do the research, we find out who the candidates are, and we make the best decision. And that's an informed decision. And we have to do the work. We have to work a little bit, right? We can't just always allow people to tell us what is, and that's how we, decide. We have to do a little bit of work. And I get it. We got a lot going on. So that was, a crazy race. And, I just hopefully we won't see that again. We won't see that happen anymore. And hopefully, Mike Cater and the Cater family, can work a situation on and resolve it. I'm sure they will have a positive outcome. I'm sure it was a big distraction. I mean, look at the way it went down. It could have been done quickly. Could have been undone over and in a matter of a couple of days, a week maybe. But it was dragged on. It was dragged on. I mean, Liam took forever to decide if he was going to investigate. Then he decides to investigate, but he's going to recuse himself. But then he doesn't recuse himself. He should recuse himself. There's potential for, some unbiased there, in his and look, I'm not saying that the man is not, a man of integrity, but we don't want to have any questions, right? We don't want to have any doubt. Let's just make sure that we have zero doubt. And he should have recused himself. That's the guy, for anyone who may not know, Liam McCullum, who is the current inspector general here in the city of Yonkers, was the guy that was in Mike Cater's position before Mike Cater won in 2017. So he beat Liam, and then Liam filed some complaints, for voter or something about what he was doing, some tactics of Mike Cater. So there was some tensions there. There's obvious tensions there, and who knows if that's still there. And I don't want to speculate, but it just leads us to question: could there be some unbiased? Could there be some ill intentions on the part of the inspector general as kind of a revenge payback type of thing? And we don't know. So just to avoid that, he should have recused himself immediately. But again, going back to what I said earlier, the council, how long the guy? Can I say, hey, hey, Mike, off the record, real quick, show us something. We have to at least do our due diligence. And because I get it, you do, it should be investigated if allegations are brought to your attention. But it should also be done in a way that limits any, damage to the individual if there doesn't need to be any damage done, the individual's family, and also the public, the voters, the people who are, who do not need to be concerned with political mudslinging, right? They're not. They got a bunch of other things. They some people out here lost their job. They're trying to find another job. They're trying to pay their bills. They need affordable housing, right? That was the big topic. Seems like that was the only topic that at least got through the mudslinging, right? And it's just again going back to the way the voters voted. It just there was seemed to be a disconnect, right? It just seemed to be a disconnect with the way voters voted and what the voters want. And you've seen a couple of days or the day after the primaries, you had a large crowd of city residents at the council meeting, which was open to the public in regards to the affordable housing ordinance. They were there to demand 20%. Well, then why was Mike Cater voted out? Mike Cater was a proponent of the 20% ordinance from day one. He, along with Shanae Williams, Councilwoman Shanae Williams, and Councilwoman Tasha Diaz, right, proposed a 20% ordinance initially, but it was, resisted by some of the other council members, the ones, that won. So I'm not sure. Do we want affordable housing? But everyone changed their tune, right? So they finally, the council approved it. Now it's up to the mayor to finalize it. I don't know if he will. From what I've heard, he wants he'll maybe do 15%. But who knows? We'll see. And but Mike Cater was one that championed for 20% from the beginning. So yeah, just a disconnect. It seems like there's a disconnect there. And hopefully that changes. Hopefully that gets better. And so anyway, but at least I'm happy that they all agree. The other council members came around to realizing that 20% is what's needed at the very least. And so they all changed their tune. I think at one point Corazon was willing to do 15. John wanted to negotiate, but he said, hey, listen, I don't want this to hold anything up. And what's also interesting, Lakeisha Collins Bellamy, she criticized Mike for saying he was holding the process up, for wanting to negotiate for their 20%. She said that the developments were great for the city, which I'm not saying they're not, but it didn't seem like the priority for her was the 20% at one point. So it seemed like a lot of flip-flopping, and not to single anyone out, a few people were flip-flopping and have been flip-flopping, like a chancleta. So you have to pay attention to these things. We have to pay attention to that. We have to see that. We you have to, like, okay, wait a minute. 1 minute you said this, then next you saying that now, and now you're saying what I want to hear, but that wasn't what you were saying initially. Are you just doing that now because you're concerned? Maybe you need to jump on the bandwagon, right? Hey, I'm going to hold your feet to the fire. I'm not being personal. I'm going to hold your feet to the fire. And you get voted in to do a certain job. I think the people expect you to do that job, right? And if you're not doing that job correctly, right? And if people are still in need of a lot in your area of representation in your district where people literally dodging bullets in daylight, you should not be dancing in to a big celebration after winning. I just think that, we need a little more class than that. Have a little more tact. People are getting shot up. People there's drugs running rampant there. Prostitution. I've seen kids that I had in my school there in that area, on drugs, begging for money. It just doesn't look right when you go dancing into to the celebration. But anyway, congratulations to you. So anyway, there you have it. That's the results, of the primaries. So now on to the general elections come November. So Lakeisha Collins Bellamy will be facing off with Ron Matten, Republican Ron Matten. Ron Matten is the T there. So that race is going to be interesting. I met Ron, also spoken with him. A very intelligent man. He actually came on the show. I like Ron a lot. Don't always agree with every single thing that Ron says, but I like a lot of what he says. But that should be interesting. And I'm going to be having Ron back on the show. So we're going to be talking about the general election a little bit, and also the Republican Party. They're trying to make a comeback. Don't call it a comeback. Been here for years. Right. But so we'll be talking about that and seeing what they're doing. And like I said, don't necessarily align yourself all the way with the party all the time. If you're a Democrat, it's cool. If you're a Republican, cool. But that's not how you base your decision on who you vote. Okay, just always remember that. And so, Corazon Pineda is being challenged. Anyone the Republican? I'm not sure there. Is there? I have to look that up. District 4, Rubo. And I believe there is some a challenge there. So he will be facing one or two, or one person, I believe, from the Republican. I believe it's a woman, and I have to look that up. Didn't really come prepared to tell you who they're going to be racing, but we'll be talking about it, right? As soon as we get closer to general elections. And in District 6, Tim Hodges, of course, he will be going up against Anthony Moranti, the incumbent, the Republican incumbent, who I hear is kind of an independent guy. Sometimes he does his own thing. And I've seen it. He's voted against the mayor. So he's not all the way establishment, right? From what I hear, establishment means mayor. So